we'll gather around, feel the love compound. Blue elephant is strong.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So Lightwish contacted me recently and they have released a new colored glitter UV resin kit, and this is it. They asked me if I wanted to try it and I'm not about to say no. Do love my glitters. So we're going to look at these new colors and see how they react. Now you get green, you get gold, you get silver, you get a navy blue, kind of like a gray blue, a red, orange, pink, and I think that's it. I'm maybe missing one. Anyway, so we are going to try something different today. Now, I don't know about you, but when I first started resin, wow, it's been 2 years ago. That is crazy, I think. Yes, 2 years ago. That's insane. Anyway, I'm an avid reader. I absolutely love to read. And I can never find my bookmarks, but one of the things that I really wanted to do when I first started was I wanted to make my own bookmarks. Because why not? Right? Instead of buying them, let me make my own. And I can customize them and make them any way I want. Well, if you haven't tried the bookmark molds that are out, um, don't waste your money on them, for one. They're too thick. And I had bought, a set, just the basic, like the normal ones, so that I could do them however I wanted. But I soon realized that they're so thick that when you do them, and I mean, they're thin, but they're thick, if that makes sense. They're thin molds, but they are too thick to actually put into a book without ruining it. So I was like really, really, really upset. And because I'm not going to ruin my books. Like, I don't want to do that. So I've been thinking lately, after Lightwish had contacted me about what I wanted to use these UV glitters for, or the UV glitter resin for. So I went back and forth and I got this mold and I was like, I really like it, but I don't necessarily want to make a keychain or a purse tag or whatever. And I mean, you can 100% do that, but I wanted to do something different. So I thought, I recently got from BeeBeeCraft, I got some leather kind of like cord, and I thought, I wonder if I can make a bookmark. So we're going to try. So really what I'm doing now is I am just going through and I am putting, I've picked out some washi tape already that's kind of hiding back there off camera. You can't see it. And I kind of selected the colors that I wanted to use based upon the washi tapes that I picked, what I thought would look best for each particular washi tape, just to kind of jazz it up a little bit. I don't want to do a whole lot with any other resins. I want to let these UV resins kind of shine on their own, but I do want to do something pretty. I don't want it just to be just a plain, just, just plain. I don't want to do that. So I started off with just using a handful of colors, one for each washi tape. And then I was like, well, I want to use them all so we can see what each and every color actually looks like. How sparkly are they? What the colors look like on their own, and then kind of go from there. So that's what we're doing. So right now I'm just putting a fairly thin layer. Now these molds are kind of on the chunkier side, and I'm just putting a thin-ish layer on the bottom. Like, it's not super crazy deep or anything like that. It's maybe a quarter or so of the mold, maybe a little bit more, maybe like a third, that I'm actually putting in each one. I'm going around all those 90-degree edges with my dotting tool around the little hole thingy, and then I'm hitting it with the heat gun just to pop any bubbles that may be there. And I'm doing the heat gun thing in between every couple because I've noticed that the window that I sit in front of, where my desk is in front of it, I get a lot of UV light from there. I didn't have that issue in my old craft area. Now I do, so it starts to cure. So I wanted to make sure that every like two or so that I had set, I popped the bubbles this way. If they started to set and do their own thing and cure and all of that, I don't have to touch them again, so it'll be okay, if that happens before I'm ready to put it under the light. So that's how I'm doing that. Now, I recently got a bunch of washi tape because I love it. I love the washi PET tape. It's one of my favorite things to use. And a couple of the ones that I got were like the flowers and ivies and stuff like that that kind of just like hanging that I thought are absolutely beautiful. So we're going to use a couple of those today. We're going to use a couple or one that I've done in the past before, and then just some other ones that I thought would look really, really pretty up against these glitters. So I'm just going to kind of cut them out. I'm lining it up. Depending on which one that I use, I'm either going to draw a little line around it, or if they're the smaller, like the PET stickers that you can get in the rolls of washi tape, I'm just cutting out the image that I want to use. These ones I did have to kind of trace around because I wanted to fill up the entirety. Now, I don't know if you can tell or not from on the video, but I am leaving a small space around the edge of each one of these. I'm not going wall to wall with these stickers. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I put my top coat on, I want it to be able to adhere to the resin that's underneath of it and not be a layer like resin, nothing but sticker, and then resin again, because what's going to happen for those of you who are new to resin is that it doesn't have anything to adhere to, right? So it'll eventually, if not immediately, it'll start splitting and you'll have just separate layers in there. Well, I don't want that. So I'm making sure that I mean, it can be the smallest amount, but I am leaving a little bit of resin showing on the side all the way around on each one of these. Now, as I put them on, I am being careful not to have bubbles trapped underneath these stickers, because if you do that, then it will show when you put your top coat on. Now, these stamp stickers, they're not the PET ones, but I love them. They're so moody and just I love them. I think they're gorgeous, gorgeous, kind of vintagey looking, dark, moody, just all of the things. I think they're absolutely stunning. So I'm kind of putting a couple on there, and then we're gonna move on to the next one. Now, the rose washi tape that I put on that green one, oh, it's so gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. They're mainly kind of pinkish roses, but as you go through the roll, you get some of the peach color and some yellow in there. And those are my absolute favorite colors of roses, are the peaches, yellows, the pinks, the just not red. I'm not a big huge fan of red roses. I'm not. Okay, so with this one, now, the washi tapes that I picked out, and I could have done another one if I really wanted to, because I have a bunch of them, but I chose not to. I had an issue with the gold. And it's not because of the resin or the color or anything. It's just none of the washi tapes that I picked really, really went with the gold for what I wanted to do. So I ended up switching up the colors that I had in mind. And I'm going to use, I love the blue roses on here. I think they're absolutely stunning. And then I kind of like the silhouette of this lady, and I thought that it would be kind of pretty too to add that into there. Gold was gonna be the color for this, but I didn't like it, so we're gonna do the silver and the other. I think this is the gray blue that I'm using for this one. I think the other one's the navy, if I'm not mistaken. So we're just gonna use these, and then the gold, I'm gonna go back to those roses again, just because they're so beautiful, and I think the colors will work okay. And for the orange red, we're going to go with my favorite. I think it's my favorite washi tape ever. The flowers on here, I'm going to show you in a second as soon as I'm done with these. But the flowers on it, oh my gosh, they're like this creamy white with like hints of gold, just gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. And then they have like little frames and stuff that, or half frames that you can kind of put on the corners of things. They're stunning. I actually unrolled that one so you can see them all. Absolutely beautiful. It's probably my favorite flower that I out of what I selected, and really like all of them. I guess the one that would be my least favorite out of the washi tapes that I chose today would be the first one I did with the purple kind of flowers cascading down. I like it, don't get me wrong. But it's not my favorite out of these. I think all the rest of them kind of are. But look how pretty that looks. The roses just look just absolutely gorgeous on this. But I'm not gonna be done yet. Like, they look nice, don't get me wrong, but I want them to look more than nice. So we're gonna add some more detail to it, and then we're gonna cure these guys up. While I finish these last couple, I'm just gonna bounce off real quick, and then I'm be back when we're ready to add the details to this, and we'll move on from there.
Got a stack of novels high up to the ceiling. Pages turning fast. Got the bookworm feeling. Ink on my fingers. Can't put it down. Lost in a story. I'm the talk of the town. Oh yeah. Got my nose in a book. Mind's in a whirl. Plots twisting tighter than a jerry curl. Characters so real, they leap off the page. Rainbound adventures, I'm free from my cage. Turn the page, make it dance, feel the groove. Every chapter got me in the mood to move. Books taking me places across the seven seas. With a good read, I'm as happy as can be. Librarian knows me, I'm a VIP. Got a golden card, call it my library key. Books on reserve, hot off the press. Put on my glasses, time to distress. Oh yeah, from mysteries to romance, Southside to history.
Okay, last one's going in. This is the one that is my favorite. Look how pretty that is. It's just gorgeous. All right, so what I decided to do is I got out my glass glitter and I am going to add just some around the edges here and there, just to give it a little bit more interest. Jazz these up just a little bit so they're just not so, even with the washi stickers, they're not so plain. And we're gonna add our top coats of clear UV resin and then cure these guys up and assemble them. And I'm gonna show you how that we're gonna do that. I decided to go for colors with kind of whatever color was in the stickers or in the washi tape. So it kind of plays on that a little bit more. I want I want the glitter, the UV glitter resin to show through and add its own, beautifulness, which it's absolutely doing. But I do want to pull out some of the colors that are on the stickers just to kind of tie it in a little bit more. Now, with the ones that I had to cut out around the little hole, I put the glitter up there mainly so that you couldn't see that, just to kind of disguise what was going on there. The rest of them I just kind of put at angles around the outer edge, wherever I thought it would look best. And that's all I did. Then I am taking my Let's Resin UV resin, and this is just the clear one, and I'm going over each one, mixing in that glass into the resin, and then positioning it however I want it to look. Now, here's the thing. When you are doing UV resin, and I know this, and I did not do it, so do as I say, not as I do in this situation. You need to be careful how thick you are doing your pours. Like, all right, I know that there are curing machines out there where you can switch the wattage on it. If you are doing a deep, I mean, obviously you can only go so deep with UV resin. Like, you shouldn't be doing super deep stuff with it at all. What happens is the thicker your layers are, and if you put a light up to it at the full wattage of that light, what will happen is UV resin shrinks. And I mean, I understand that epoxy resin shrinks too. I do. I feel that UV resin shrinks a lot more. And not only does it shrink, but you can get wavy lines in it and just it it can look awful. Okay? Ideally, what you should do is if you are using a thicker layer of UV resin, what you should do is take your light. If you don't have an adjustable wattage on your light, take your light and start up kind of high, like maybe, 8 inches from where your actual item is that you're curing. Let it just hold it up there for a minute so it's not getting that full power of your light all at once because it's going to cure too fast, too fast, and as it shrinks up, you're gonna get the waves and all of that stuff, which I did get because I didn't take my own advice and I didn't do that. So I ended up having to do another layer where I didn't necessarily have to, just to kind of hopefully get rid of that. So my suggestion would be if you're doing thicker, not super thin layers of UV resin, hold your light up for about a minute or so and then put it down on your full wattage, full power for the rest of the time to cure. This way it starts to cure. It's curing slower because the wattage isn't there as high as it would be if you put it directly under that light. Does that make sense? If not, leave a comment and I'll try to explain it better. Anyway, that's what I should have done. It's not what I did, clearly, because I do have to go through and touch up some pieces. It slows the curing process down a little bit and allows it not to shrink up quite so fast, quite so much with all the ripples and all of that stuff. So you get a cleaner cure on your resin. And this is not just, it's not Let's Resin's UV light. It's any UV light that you use that does not have a adjuster on the wattage, okay? So it's not anything by the brand or by the resin. It is how it is with any UV resin, with any UV light, unless you can change that. Okay, so we are ready to demold these pieces. Now, this is where I kind of I didn't screw up. It could have been bad. It's an easy fix. But when I attached my dual UV light, there are 4 connecting points that connect the top and the bottom, and if you don't have those on there right, the bottom doesn't light up. And I knew this when I first turned it on. I seen that that light wasn't on and I was going to go fix it and then I forgot. So they never fully cured on the bottom. It didn't have the light hitting it. I should have either fixed it, which is what I should have done, or I should have flip the mold over and hit it from the back because they are semi-sticky on the back. I mean, it's fine. All I need to do is just throw them back up underneath my light again for another couple of minutes just to get it so that it's not tacky anymore or sticky and all that nonsense. And that's it. Now, as far as these pieces look, I think they look absolutely gorgeous. They are see-through because it is not an opaque UV resin. It's a glitter resin, but that's fine. That's kind of how I wanted it. If you didn't want it to be completely see-through and you wanted it to have an opaque back, you could I would do white. I don't necessarily know any other color that I would do other than white that will show those colors and make it pop through. But you could do a very thin layer of either opaque white UV resin, or you could mix in a little bit of mica powder and do it super thin layers, cure it another super thin layer if you needed to build it up a little bit more so that it's not transparent, and then put your glitter resins on top of that, depending on what you want to do. All right, so you saw the leather kind of cord that I got, and I decided that I think that I like that best. I did get a brown one. I don't remember where I put it, so we're going to go with the black, even though some of them probably would have looked better with brown, but it's fine. Then I decided that I want some beads on there, so I've got these kind of, I want to say they're the mermaid style ones that kind of have different colors. I just got a 10 millimeter jump ring, opened it up, put 3 beads on, closed it on the top part where it is going to be the longer part of our bookmark, closed it around there just so they just why not? And then I'm taking a smaller jump ring. I want to say these are the 5 millimeter ones, and I'm kind of using it as a clamp on this. I couldn't figure out the best way that I wanted to make the leather kind of stay put. I thought about tying a knot, then I thought this is so thick it's just not going to look right and it's not going to lay flat the way that I want it to. So I could have glued it, which I do end up gluing it too, even though I did this, but I wanted it to be really snug, really tight. So I just took the 5 millimeter one, which barely fit around here, and I'm taking my pliers, opening it up, and then smooshing it on and kind of clamping it down into place. Now, in theory, this should keep it even after I cut down the back part a little bit, but I do, just to be on the safe side, I am going to add a little bit of E6000 glue to glue the two pieces together towards the bottom where I'm putting that last jump ring. And that's just going to, hopefully, I've never used it on leather before, so we'll find out, but hopefully it'll keep it together enough that I can trim off a little bit of it, but I don't have to worry about it coming undone or any of that. But that's really it. Like, I'm only gonna do a couple of these up. It is quite time consuming, but I think that they turn out really, really pretty overall. And I love them. So yeah, it's a different take, different kind of bookmark. I know it's nothing like new, like I didn't create this. I've seen bookmarks before that are kind of like strings or cords or whatever that have a dangly piece hanging off of them. But it can be a bookmark. You could actually use it because the tail of the actual leather cord itself is long enough that if you decided that you wanted it as a purse tag or whatever they're called, or on your luggage or anything like that, you could 100% do that instead. That, the possibilities are limitless with it. I think they turned out really cute. I do like them. And yeah, that's pretty much a wrap on this one, guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will see you guys on Saturday in the next one. Love ya. Bye.
Together we belong. In every comment right, you lift me to new heights. Your support, it's clear, gives me reason to cheer. Blue elephant crew, this one's all for you. You make dreams come true with everything you do. Each subscriber's heart playing a vital part. Videos we share, showing how much we care. Likes and shares, they grow. You make the channel glow. Every single view, I owe it all.